Hello and welcome, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. So good to see you and thanks for joining me today. If this is the first time here, hello. Again, my name's Adam Thomas. I'm a reflexologist, and on this channel we talk a lot about tips and tricks to improve and enhance your reflexology practice. And so if this is a channel that you might be into, if you're into reflexology, it might be a channel to subscribe to. So you can just click that little subscribe button and then there'll be a little bell notification. That's also important to hit, that way you'll get the videos when they come out. So anyway, let's get into what I wanted to talk about, and that is the back. A lot of people have back issues, and I want to share with you this cool trick today and just in a couple seconds, it can reveal where on the person that you're working with, where they hold their tension in their back, okay? So let's go take a look at this. So this technique that I want to share with you is a little bit different than what we're used to, because for example here, if we look at the muscular system, we can see here that it's reflected on the plantar surface of the foot. You're going to get all the muscle groups reflected that way, right? But this technique is a little bit different. It's going to show you we're going to be working on the plantar surface of the foot, but it's going to show you where they hold their tension on their back, okay? So it's a little bit of a reversal of how reflexologists really see the foot, but it's a great tool, and I think it's just so great because so many people out there have back tension, and to know if it's upper back, lower back, mid back, where exactly, left to right side of the body they're holding their tension is just so important, and it can get us to where we need to get working on the feet as fast as possible. And if we do massage, we can work on, get to where we need to work and, relieve tension in the body. So I want to take you right now to show you a couple examples on different people's feet to show you that there is a difference and how I use it. So let's go take a look at that. So before we jump into the technique, I just want to show you and get you a clear image of how it is that we want to see the back muscles of the body. And so I've lined up the feet next to a body here, and you'll see that the butt of the body lines up with the heels, and it kind of forms a shape like a butt. And then at the top you have the head. And so if you were to imagine leaving the big toes and then getting rid of all the other toes, you would be left with a shape that looks like the torso of the body. And I'll just show you that in red here. Yeah, so you can see it there. And that's what we're looking at here. So you can see that, at the very bottom here, you can see the butt, and then it goes up into the head and, shoulder area. So when you have the clear image of this, then you're able to understand, out by underneath the pinky toes, you'll see that that's where the shoulder areas are. And you can see clearly on the feet, there's a line there, that's the diaphragm line, and so you can tell that that's the chest cavity up top, and that's, gives you an idea of that. So where the big toes are, that's more of the center of your body, and then working out towards your shoulders. So that will give you a clear idea of where it is that we're going to be working. So the technique is really simple. All you're going to do is grab the toes and pull them back, and you're going to use a good pressure here because you want to have sort of a downward pressure as you're holding the toes back. And what you're going to do is wait for about 20 seconds. And what you're going to start to see is areas changing color. So you're going to get red, and then you're going to get white spots as well. And so the red basically means that there's circulation getting there, and the white basically means that there's tension there, that the circulation doesn't flow nice and evenly that way. So you can see here that the shoulder is not getting a lot of, that there's tension there. And you can see at the top of the diaphragm, along there, you're getting a lot of tension, a lot of white there. And then you're also going to see, like up in between, you're going to get some good circulation. But look at the occipital ridge up here as well, is quite white. And so there's a lot of tension right at the top there. So this gives you a great indication of where it is that this person needs work. So there's going to be a lot of work in the shoulders, a lot of the diaphragm area, and a bit of the neck underneath the occipital ridge needs work, right? And so then you want to go over and check the other foot, because the other foot tells a completely different story sometimes. And so yeah, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a different picture on this side. You're getting a lot more tension above the diaphragm line and sort of in the middle of the foot. You're going to see a lot more tension there. And also on the shoulder, this one's not as pronounced, but there is more of, tension right in one little spot there. And then mostly in the diaphragm, sort of chest area, doesn't receive a lot of circulation. Along the side here as well, you can see that it's nice and white, and again on the occipital ridge. So it tells sort of the same story, but a little bit different. But what a great technique to be able to tell where it is on her back that needs work. Okay, so looking at another pair of feet here, again holding for 20 seconds at least to make sure everything shows up. So now we can see, after holding it for a bit, that right down the center now, above the diaphragm, is where the tension is being held. So it's not necessarily on the neck and shoulder, like the outside shoulder area that we saw in the person before, right? So now we can see it's more in the middle, so it's a definite change, right? So it's down the center sort of the back, off to the side of the spine, in between the shoulder blade, that the tension that is felt on the right side of the body right now that we're looking at. So let's go take a look at the other foot to see what it reveals. And we're going to see here, after holding for a bit, that again the tension is more in the center of the foot, the center of the chest area, rather than on the sides. There is a line showing up here which indicates a bit of problem in that area there. But again, as you can see, it's actually even more on this left side showing up now, that you can see the tension, that there's a lot more white right in the center of the foot. Whereas the top of the shoulders, across the top of the shoulders, gets nice circulation, but it's just a little bit lower than right across the top of the shoulders, where you're feeling a lot of tension there in the middle of her back there. Not so much on the outsides, but again, right down the middle. So interesting, it's totally different than the feet that we saw before. Okay, and looking at another pair of feet here, we can see, after holding for a bit, that there is a lot more tension in the shoulder area now. You can see that there's hardly any red showing up, and there's more white showing across the whole shoulders area. And this indicates that just the shoulders have a lot of tension in them, and verified through the client that is where a lot of tension is held here. And then looking at the other foot here as well, this one even has more tension. You can see defined lines on each of the zones of the feet of where tension is being held. And also, especially on his left side, there's a lot of tension there. And you can see also that there's a callus on the shoulder area, meaning that, there's lots of, wear and tear in the shoulders, lots of tension there, right? And also on the medial side. So if I was to work on this person, a lot of shoulder, upper back work would be needed. So there you are. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you, because it's a great tool that I use all the time. And what I find really important is, if you think back to the other examples, is, I'm doing the same technique on the feet, but they're showing up in different areas, different tension, right? Because we're all different, and that's what I think is so important in reflexology, as to be a good reflexologist, is not to just treat everybody, like, okay, this is, combo A, so I'm just gonna do my thing, right? Everybody's individual, and to be able to, have the tool like this to just, check it out and go, oh, okay, that's where I need to work, and that's where the tension is. Another thing that's really great too is instantly you can tell where the person holds their tension, so you can sort of gain confidence in, the client can gain confidence in yourself, because you can say, oh, I see that there's, some tension in your left shoulder. Is that true? And then, you sort of have some instant feedback. And so the client feels a lot more confident and, knowing that you know your stuff, right? So it's a great little tool. So I just am so excited to share it with you. So I hope it helps. If you have any other tricks that you use, I would love to hear about them. But yeah, this is a good one. So until next time, this is Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. Have a good day. and keep those feet happy. Bye-bye. Let me know what you thought of this video by leaving a comment below. Any type of feedback can be useful. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you found it useful, feel free to share it with anybody who might be interested. Make sure that you have subscribed to this channel if you haven't already. And make sure that you hit, or better yet, step on that bell icon so you know when the next video is coming out. And if you have some more time, why don't you check out some other videos? Till next time, this is Adam Thomas from balancingtouch.ca.